Okay, this is the heating system in the church basement here. Two circulating pumps because it's a low gravity water system. And basically the circulating pumps push the water through in a loop. Basically there's a lower pipe and a higher pipe. Lower pipe pushes the hot water through and the higher pipe brings the colder water back to the boilers. As you can see, it goes through the walls. That's the model of the boilers. This is the boiler control unit. I can't see very well. This pump system never got configured. The reason for that was because these are newer boilers with solid state ignitions and solid state technology. The other ones over in school are the original Birmingham boilers that were originally installed. And those are older, so they don't have that solid state. These are Buderus or Buderus or whatever. These are from around 2008 because the original boilers burned up because nobody was taking care of the circulating pumps. Because the original circulating pump, that was a Bell Gossett. And that's basically what they look like. And that original one on, or pump 2 originally burned up, so we got it replaced with a Grundfos. It's basically got ball bearing joints instead of oil bearing or wicks, so you don't have to oil it. That's a big plus. These are Johnson control pressure switches for if it senses that it's losing pressure, it'll automatically shut the pump off and kick the other pump in. But this never got completed due to there was an issue years back between people, so I'm not going to say what. That's Johnson control. And we have all the timers and controllers in the other room that still go with it. So this is the panel. It also has an intermittent clock. And basically this is what, see, it pulls these pins out and you can set it once a week to switch the pumps. And this is the controller from auto to hand. Hand is basically manual and auto is, but this system here automatically switches the boilers. But what happened was there was no, when we got the new exhaust system, because originally it went up through that hole. It was an asbestos based, I would have to say, exhaust feed, which that was not working efficiently. It went up a chimney and it was still, all that carbon monoxide was still leaking into the boiler room here. So we put this system in a draft control. Basically this is what it looks like. You got your damper over here. And when the boilers call for heat, there's a controller inside. And this boiler does not have, it's kind of hard to do this with. This is an older Honeywell controller. There's a different one in the other. Actually, I think they're the same thing, but this boiler, if I'm looking at this correctly, boiler 2 needs to be rewired. So when this one calls for heat, that it automatically kicks in the exhaust fan. Because otherwise, this room gets so full of carbon monoxide, it could actually kill a person if you're in here long enough. But these boilers don't run all the time. Basically, there's a thermostat upstairs around the stacker steve that, as it senses that it gets cold, it calls for heat. Basically, the first 2 tubes down here fire up, and if it can't keep up, then it'll kick in the 4th tube or set of tubes. And if that can't keep up, then it'll kick in the other boiler. But what happened was, there's a programming setting on the boiler controller, and it did, when it was set on auto, it was, when this boiler kicked in, that exhaust didn't kick in. But when boiler 1 kicked in, because the exhaust system is wired up to that boiler system, it's kind of hard putting the cover on and hanging onto the camera at the same time. And yes, this pump is slowly leaking, but they're about $1,000 to get completely replaced. Yeah, these boilers have newer controllers, which are designed for, both tubes are running. Even though there's 3 tubes, but this boiler's got to get rewired. You need a new glass fitted over that pressure, or that heat control. So that's where we're at right now. We'll get that done in spring. Check out that control in here. No, this is not a fire door. So that's basically, well, I'll turn the light on here. That's the exhaust to go outside. First controller up there, that's a microprocessor controller that when a boiler kicks in, that tells it to energize. And the second one's a backup in case the first one fails. So this is the auxiliary furnace. I don't understand why they put this in here, because it's just a cheap residential one. That's not the actual correct air handling equipment, because that also pulls in inside air, but that's not very efficient. The answer would be to have some industrial commercial air handlers. That's kind of what we have going on up here. This is my little maintenance utility workroom. That's a kitchen. So that's what we have going on in here. And yes, there's restrooms on the other side of this. Okay, I'm going to sign off.